Hello everybody and welcome back to Up the Guts, and we are continuing our season previews today. And if you are watching this on the YouTube channel, you can probably tell by now we are doing the Collingwood Football Club, my beloved Magpies, and I'm wearing the Guernsey now. If you haven't already, go back and watch my season previews, as I've already done Adelaide, Brisbane and Carlton to see how I've gone there. Make sure to turn the notification bell on Spotify, Apple Podcasts and YouTube so you don't miss our upload as we go through all 18 clubs. All 18 clubs and preview their 2025 season, as the football AFL is just around the corner and I couldn't be any more excited. But without further ado, let's get into the Collingwood Football Club. The Collingwood Football Club in 2024, after winning the flag in 2023, just missed out on the 8 and finished in 9th. But they've gone all in during this off-season. It's now or never for the Magpies. They're really going for the now. Obviously keeping a lot of older players still too, and still Sybon and Scott Pennery. But not just that, they brought in back-to-back All-Australian Port Adelaide defender who can also run through the midfield, but he's an All-Australian halfback. They brought in Dan Houston from the Port Adelaide Football Club, and I'm really excited to see Dan Houston in the Collingwood colours. Just how damaged, he knows how to find the ball, but more than that, he uses the ball so superbly. So it'll be interesting to see how they use Dan Houston. Obviously, they'll probably use him off halfback, but they can run him through the midfield as well. Do they use Josh Dacos next to him, or do they use Nick Dacos next to him? So Dan Houston will be a good one for the Collingwood Football Club as they look to try and get back into that Premiership contention. And they also went in, a key forward is probably one that they've been lacking for a few years now. Brody Mychek has done his role, but he's an undersized key forward. So St Kilda delisted one of their key forwards, and Collingwood swooped in and picked him up as a delisted free agent. That's Tim Membrey. While he's getting a bit older, I believe he's 31, 32, he'll really help the likes of Mason Cox, who probably more of the ruckman. He's not going to kick you bags of goals, but he's going to take the load off Brody Mychek down there, as Ash Johnson just hasn't got on to the form that the Collingwood Football Club would have liked. As he had a season where I reckon 2022 where he was really good. Another free agent they brought in from the GWS Giants is Harry Perryman, and the beauty about Harry Perryman is he can play at all three parts of the ground. He can play as a halfback, intercepting defender. He can play forward and kick you some goals, or he can also run through the midfield. So that's a really good asset to have through the draft. Their first pick was pick 47 in Joel Cochran. I hope I've said that right. Then with pick 50, they went and got Charlie West, and pick 56, they went and got Will Hayes. Now some outs. Aiden Begg, the ruckman, was delisted. We saw him a few times for the Collingwood Football Club. It just didn't break into the side consistently enough, so they had to let him go there. Number one, Jack Bytel, was a bit surprised with this one. They picked him up in the preseason last year from the St Kilda Football Club and played a few games later in the year for Collingwood. And I thought he looked okay. Started off scratchy, but then had some good games off the wing. But Collingwood obviously just didn't see him going forward, so they've delisted him there. Next one, Josh Ear was also delisted. Didn't get to see him at AFL level, so not much to comment on there. Now, Nathan Kruger's an interesting one. He was delisted. I was a big critic on Nathan Kruger. I thought he was a bit of a dud when he first started, but later in that season, Freddie Kruger, as they like to call him, really grew on me. And I thought he impacted games, especially when he went through the ruck to at a bit of pace, and he just goes real hard at the ball and attacks it at full speed, which got him into trouble a few times with concussion and all that. But Collingwood parted ways with him. Nathan Murphy, we knew prior to that, but it's official that he has retired. Officially made last season. And we saw last season what hole he left down there with the likes of Darcy Moore having to do a lot more work, and just how crucial, as my phone goes down there, just how crucial Nathan Murphy was. He could play big, he could play big, he could play small, and just intercepted. While didn't use it very well, he helped the likes of Darcy Moore, who likes to be that attacking player, not as much as a lockdown defender. All good, no scratches, no cracks. Next one, as I look over here, John Noble's another one left out. Fell out of favour in the 2023 season. And I was a bit surprised how much they fell out of favour, but he's gone over to the Gold Coast Suns. And Joe Richards, who they picked up in a mid-season draft, or in a normal draft, but he was a mature age pickup from Wangaratta. He's gone over and accepted, I think, a 3 or 5 year deal at Port Adelaide. And he was a good one looking at, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes forward. Now we look at their team. Key defenders, Billy Frampton, Darcy Moore, Jeremy Howe, Charlie Dean and Joel Cochran. The heat is on them this year. They were a bit disappointing last year. Obviously, Jeremy Howe had an interrupted season down there, but the heat is on down there. I do like Billy Frampton as a key defender, not as a forward, but we'll see how that works. Obviously, no Nathan Murphy, as we said, and I've been a bit disappointed with Charlie Dean Been good at VFL level, but just not at AFL level. Defenders, Isaac Quainer will want to bounce back after a bit of a poor season. Braden Maynard just go his heart at it, give him a job, but he does it. He does it at 110%. Dan Houston, obviously, we mentioned before, they've added down there. Harry Perryman is listed as a defender, so that might be looking at. But as I mentioned, it's always good to have that versatility. We know we can play him at 3 different ends of the ground. Harry Diamatia, first round pick. Haven't seen him yet at AFL level. Had an injury last season. Will Parker, we saw him a couple of times, looked alright. Former Victorian cricketer. Chu Jaff, we saw him one game last year. Obviously, the younger brother of CJ. So interesting to see how he can progress. Jacob Ryan, we've seen once as well. Not sure about that one, and Oleg Markov, a bit in and out there. Mids, Pat Lipinski had a brilliant 2024 season, I thought. Jordan DeGoey, a bit interrupted season, but they reckon he's in the best fitness of his life. But I hate hearing that. We hear it every year with any players. I just want to see it. So hopefully, if that is true, DeGoey can come out and really dominate. Next up, Tom Mitchell, Josh Dacos, who spent a bit of late of the last season at half-back. So we'll see if that continues down there. Scott Pendlebury, obviously. Ed Allen, as I just fling my laptop around so I'm not consistently looking at it. Ed Allen, we saw a bit towards the end of the season. I thought he was really scratchy the first game, but then the second game came back in and was really good. So see how he progresses there. Next up, Finn McRae. There's an old story about him. He's so much hype, so much potential. Can he finally live up to it in 2025? Still side bottom. Jack Crisp, Mr. Consistent. Yet to miss a game in. I can't even keep track of how many games there has been now. Nick Dacos, Lockie Sullivan was really good, I thought. Mature age pick up there. Will Hayes and Ned Long, I was really impressed with too. Obviously, we picked him up mid-season, I believe. Yeah, mid-season it was, from the Hawthorn Football Club. Ruckman, we've got Darcy Cameron, Mason Cox, and can't pronounce his name, but Errol Smith. We picked him up in the mid-season draft. I believe he was our first pick in the mid-season draft as well in 2024. So it'll be interesting to see how he can progress. Key forwards, we've got Dan McStay. When he can stay fit, he's so crucial to that lineup. Reece McInnes was drafted as a midfielder, but I'm liking the look of him as a key forward. Tim Membrey, we picked up. Charlie West. Charlie West, obviously, picked up in the draft. He was picked 50. Ash Johnson, disappointing year for Ash Johnson. We'll touch on him soon. Brody Mychek as well. Forwards, I think the forwards look all right. They're actually, now I'm looking at it even more, I'm really excited about these forwards. Jamie Elliott, Lockie Schultz, the Dazzler, Bobby Hill, Bo McClure, Will Hoskinauer, and I'm big on Harvey Harrison. Look out for. Now I've gone with someone who I did mention earlier had a great 2024 season. That's Pat Lipinski. I thought Pat Lipinski was really good 2024, playing that midfield wing half-forward role. 23 matches, he averaged 17.5 disposals and kicked the 18 goals. His best game coming in round 24 v Melbourne, where he had 30 disposals and kicked 2 goals. I think he's so crucial for his running carrier that he can provide, and just the way he uses the ball. He doesn't waste a possession, so I think look out for Pat Lipinski, especially the way he finished last year, obviously round 24 with 30 disposals and 2 goals, to continue it on in the 2025 season. Now, needs to lift. I'm pretty sure I had this guy for needs to lift last year, and nothing changed, so I've got him in there again. That's Ash Johnson. He just needs to find himself back in that side as that key forward. There's so much talent and promise and potential there. 2024, he played 3 matches and kicked these 0 goals. So, bit disappointing there for Ash Johnson. Let's hope he can get back into it. Prediction. I believe they'll come back in the top 8, and I have them around that 6th, 7th spot, the Collingwood Football Club. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. Well, there you have it, guys. There is my 2025 season preview for the Collingwood Football Club. I think they'll finish around that 6th, 7th spot, bottom half of the 8. Look out for Pat Lipinski 2025, and needs to live for 2 years in a row. I've got Ash Johnson. Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like and a comment. Leave a comment in the video. Turn on your notification bell so you don't miss the uploading. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube and follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But until next time, I'll see you guys then.